What's up, guys? Tyler back with some more predictions here on the SG1 Sports YouTube channel. And today I have my Week 7 predictions. As first things first, let's talk about last week. What a weekend of college football. I kind of said, in last video, we could see some things that that we weren't really expecting happen. And, Bama going down to Vanderbilt, obviously, that's the highlight of the weekend. Obviously, Washington taking down Michigan. I said that would happen, so kudos to me. I also said take Arkansas on the points, and I didn't know that they would outright win, but I definitely knew there was definitely a possibility with that, as well as Minnesota taking down USC, kind of a game no one was really paying attention to. That one was on the Big Ten Network. I watched the ending to it. USC just collapsed. Lincoln Riley has a lot of questions to answer. And what was the last upset? I think we already talked about it, Tennessee. Just a lot of fun football games. And, Miami, California, a weird way to end. Again, Miami 6-0, give them credit where credit is due. I went 7-3 in straight picks last week, but a staggering 8-2 against the spread. So all you people telling me how bad I've been doing, I've just been showing you up every single week and rubbing it in your face, because that's what I'm just going to start doing, rubbing it in your face. Tell me how wrong I am. Shout out to Tony Montana. He was our celebrity guest picker on our Saturday morning show, and he basically came out and said, if you trust me, go with me against the spread. He's been making money, so shout out to Tony. But let's get straight into our Week 7 picks. As always, we start out with the upset pick. I like Arizona simply over 14th ranked BYU. This is a good BYU team, but they just came off a bye week, and here's the thing. If I'm BYU, I don't think I would have wanted that bye week with how hot that you've been playing, with how well that you've been playing. I know the Baylor game kind of ended not so great for you. We were up 28 to, I think, 7 or something like that. Almost choked away that game. Got the win done. Retzloff has been okay. Hasn't been great, but he's definitely been okay. I just like Arizona. For some reason, they've just been playing a little bit better on the road over the past couple of weeks. Now, they just lost a tough one at home to Texas Tech. Their offense hasn't really been showing up over these past few weeks. I think that's different coming up on Saturday with Arizona. Got to get McMillan involved as well as the run game. I like Arizona over BYU as my upset pick. This is going to upset a lot of people, but how about America's team, I guess, Vanderbilt, with a historical win on Saturday. They go into Kentucky right after that huge emotional win, and Kentucky's a 14-point favorite. Wow, I mean, double-digit favorite here, kind of surprising there. But these are two teams, I will give credit where credit is due. These are two teams I would not want to play with Kentucky's physicality in their style of football, as well as Vanderbilt's style of football, in which they can run those RPOs almost picture perfectly, as well as some of these triple option type plays. This is a weird offense for Vandy. Unfortunately, I think they're still going to be parting from that big win. I don't really know how this team's going to react to it. I like Kentucky here. I don't know if I can lay the 14, but I think Kentucky's just a better team. They're going to come out hungry after a bye week and beat Vandy. Next is a pretty cool matchup here with both these two QBs, both underrated teams, I'd say, as Fresno State. Last time we see both these teams actually had byes, by the way, but last time we seen both these teams both had letdown games. Washington State against Boise State, Fresno State against UNLV. That UNLV loss is huge because they're playing for the Mountain West, but yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty good game. I just like Mikey Keene a little bit more. I just can't see Fresno State losing two straight at home and after a bye. This is a pretty well-coached team. Give me Fresno State in probably one of the most underrated matchups this weekend. Not a lot of people are talking about this game, but this is a relatively decent game for the group of five. So I like Fresno State here at home. And how about South Carolina going to Tuscaloosa to take on 7th-ranked Alabama? Alabama coming off of a huge loss. Now, since it's a 12-team playoff, it's not as big as what people are making it to be, but still, that's a terrible loss at Vandy, giving them their first win ever, I believe, as an unranked team against a number 1 ranked team. So, yeah, this is college football for you, but I think they'll get it done against South Carolina. South Carolina just doesn't have the offense to be competing in these types of games. They had that flukish situation against LSU and probably really should have won that game, in which they did score 33 points. So, But I think Alabama's going to get it done. Alabama's defense is really, really good. Last week was an anomaly, but I think they'll pretty much shut down South Carolina. South Carolina won't have enough firepower offensively, and Bama will get it done. This rivalry game and two teams kind of on complete polar opposites. That Florida had a big home win against Central Florida. Look, it's not really a rival, but it's an in-state opponent and an in-state opponent that opponent that has been running their mouth. So I give credit where credit is due. Shout out to Billy Napier for that big win. He keeps his job for yet another week, and I don't think he's going to lose it even with this effort here. Tennessee coming off of a big loss. Nico played terrible, just being completely honest here. He's a young QB. He's got a lot of raw potential and talent, so I just don't think it's this year for him. It's his first year starting. They're going to have to get the run game going, and to be honest with you, Florida shut down Central Florida's rush game, gave up 30 yards in the first half rushing. They gave up, I think, 80, 90 in the second half. But, again, Gus Malzahn, I don't really understand the coaching decisions he made in the second half. I mean, he was basically chewing clock down 20 points. Just didn't make sense to me. And Florida was like, okay, you can have your 3, 4, maybe 5 yards of carry and churn that clock. We'll take the win. And that's basically what happened. I like Tennessee here to bounce back. Listen, they've been struggling with Florida every single year. It doesn't matter how good or bad either team is. Tennessee I think they only have, 2 or 3 wins against Florida in the past 16, 17, 18 years, something like that. It's just ridiculous. Florida has owned them. I don't think that's necessarily the case this time. I like Tennessee to come back and win a home game. This is a good win for them. Get a bounce back situation before they got a bigger game coming up later on against Alabama, which is back at home. But give me Tennessee to win 31-17, something like that. And now starts the gauntlet for Colorado as, oh boy, this schedule looks a lot trickier. But hey, they're 4-1 on the season. They still have potential to win this conference. They're at 2-0 on top or tied in first place with a lot of other teams. Or I guess Texas Tech is first place because they're 3-0. But anyways, if they win this game, they'd be tied for first place. But this is a big game for both these teams. I like Kansas State, though, on the road. DJ Giddens is just going to have to get it done. But I got to give credit where credit is due. Colorado's defense, especially front seven, is a lot better than what it was last year. Travis Hunter's obviously ridiculous. But I'm going to trust the better team here. And I just think Kansas State, if they are the team that I think they are, which is the best, one of the best teams in the Big 12 and probably should make it to the Big 12 title, they have to win this game. Point blank and simple. They already lost at BYU, which was just a terrible performance for everyone on the team. Avery Johnson hasn't really been what I think a lot of people thought he would be. This is a young wide receiving core, though. Jace Brown's still pretty good, explosive. So I like Kansas State here to go on the road and beat Colorado and Deion Sanders. How about Southern Cal, man? I mean, I thought this was going to be an interesting game as it should have been a top 15 matchup. Southern Cal just gave away that game to Minnesota. I'm going to make this a quick one. I just think Penn State's physicality is just too much for a team, for Southern Cal. I mean, if Minnesota's able to do it, surely Penn State should do it. Now, it is a home game for Southern Cal, so I'm giving them a benefit of the doubt here. But come on, man, Southern Cal has just been a letdown after that LSU game, and a game they probably shouldn't have even won. I like Penn State here with the dual backs, Katron Allen and Singleton, to just pound USC and gash them up. I think it will be a close finish, but give me Penn State for sure. How about the first official Red River shootout in the SEC play here? And look, Texas is looking for blood, I think, after last year. It wasn't a season-ending loss, obviously, for Texas as they bounced back and won the Big 12 and went to the playoffs. But it's a rival. You don't want to lose that game. I think Oklahoma might cover the spread, though. I think Oklahoma, they had that huge win on the road at Auburn, and then, boom, they had a bye week with Hawkins. I think he brings a lot more to the table than Arnold, as well as he just makes better decisions. And he's a lot faster and quicker. They're going to have to use that if they're going to beat Texas. I don't think they're going to beat Texas, but I do think they'll compete for most of this game. It is a rivalry game. Brent Venables, his defense is his front seven's very, very good. It's one of the best in college football. I think they can pretty much, I wouldn't say shut down the run, but limit the rush for Texas. Make Quinn Ewers, because he will be starting in this game, by the way. Make him beat him through the air, and he will. Give me Texas. Number 9, Ole Miss takes on 13th ranked LSU in a game that's bigger than big, right? Ole Miss already has that loss, and if they came in 6-0, I'd be like, okay, well, they could afford this loss and then go on with their schedule, even if they lose to Georgia. Not so fast anymore. Ole Miss is going to have to win this game. I think this is probably, I wouldn't say this is an elimination game, especially for Ole Miss if they were to lose, because they still could go and beat Georgia. But still, you don't want to lose this game. But the over-under is set at 65.5, I believe. I am 100% taking the under. I think Ole Miss's defense is very, very good. I think it's top 10 in the country in I think, rush and total defense as well. Ole Miss has a very good defense this year. That front seven, that defensive whole is just very, very good. Trey Amos on the outside playing pretty well this season. Had a big interception against South Carolina. Sertain Perkins as well, linebacker, pretty good. Obviously, Walter Nolan and Jared Ivey, two very good defensive linemen. Probably elite defensive linemen, to say the least. And, oh, by the way, no Harold Perkins, though, for the rest of the season for LSU. That's a huge loss defensively. I think Ole Miss is the better team here. But going into Death Valley, this is going to be a very fun game. Might be the best game of the weekend. But I do think it's a lesser scoring game than what people are making out to be. Durham's going to have to be able to run the football for LSU. And obviously, Garrett Nussmeier has been very, very good. But I think Ole Miss is just going to get it done. They're the better team. Jackson Dart has had an exceptional season, 2,100 yards, 13 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, a very good QBR. Give me Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin's running Lane Kiffin's right on the road to beat LSU. What could be the game of the year thus far, or maybe even second to Georgia and Alabama, obviously. But number 2, Ohio State on the road at Oregon. This is a game everyone circled, especially Oregon. And a game I think is a lot better now than what it looked like in the first 2 weeks of college football, as Oregon got pushed around. Offensive line was terrible, gave up 8 sacks. And I think they've yet to give up a sack since the Boise State game. Shout out to Dan Lanning. He has done an exceptional job getting his team back here and ready for the Ohio State game, as Oregon's defensive front has been insane. Now, obviously, Ohio State's has probably been better, obviously. Ohio State's defense is the best in college football right now. And looks like, I mean, come on, giving up 6.9 points per game. Come on, that's elite. I think Michigan gave up something like that too, but they haven't really played any good offensive teams. Here you go. Here's your bang for your buck, as Oregon's offense has probably the best athletes in college football. Now, I know Ohio State does, they have up there as well, but Tez Johnson, Evan Stewart, Trayshawn Holden, these wide receivers, man, are ridiculous speed. And Ferguson as a tight end, he's a big target. He's been doing a lot for Oregon. Dylan Gabriel has been, his 3 interceptions are all in the red zone, which is kind of head-scratching. If you're going to do that against Ohio State, you might as well just give the game away. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think Oregon's going to come out and not out-finesse Ohio State. It's going to be hard to do that. They're going to have to push Ohio State and match them at the line of scrimmage, and I think they will. I've seen a lot from this defensive front. Jordan Burch has been absolutely exceptional. 5 sacks on the season. How about Uyunglele? And no, not DJ. His younger brother, Mateo. I think he has 4 sacks on the year, a couple tackle for losses. Those two on each end have been disruptive. I like the Oregon Ducks to win at home. I know they're coming in as an underdog. Georgia was a favorite on the road at Alabama as well. I took the Dogs. Kind of learned from my mistake. This is kind of a similar situation, but I think Oregon is going to get it done here. 35-28, a little bit more points than what people think. And in fact, I think that was the last score that these two played back in, 2021 in Columbus. But give me the Ducks here to pull the upset and beat Ohio State in a very fun, good one. It's a night game. Oh, I cannot wait for this. But this has been my predictions for Week 7 here at SG1 Sports YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Peace out.